Ever since the beginning of the Neo Egos League, where we were first introduced to Michael Kaiser of Bastard Munich, the main forward of the team and a part of the New Gen World 11, he quickly became not only one of my favorite players in the NEL, but also became one of my favorite characters in the entire series. And finally, after 2 years in real time since the start of the NEL, we are finally getting his backstory. Hey guys, DarkheroJosh here, and today we're going to be talking about and going over the latest chapter of Blue Lock, chapter 241, Takuan and Nato. And as usual, we'll dive into my thoughts and opinions on it. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So the chapter starts off with the author showing us the next 2 matches of the Neo Egos League, with match 7 being between FC Barca and PXG, and match 8 being between Manshine City and the Ubers, with Shigiri being shown instead of Nagi, being that his value is now higher than his. As we transition to the Germany Stratnum training field with everyone there, we see Hiyori say that they're going to be the ones sitting these next few matches out, and while the other teams battle each other, they'll use this time to train and level up. Their final match is against PXG, and after that, the Neo Egos League will end, as Hiyori says that the match against PXG will be their last match to prove themselves. As we see Monk shocked, we see Raichi with a smile on his face as he asks why his value is lower than Hiyori's, but he's not mad at all. Hiyori reads Raichi like a book, saying that despite what he's saying, he looks oddly satisfied with himself. Corona says that Raichi can't hide the fact that he's hyped that he got an offer. Yukimiya tells Hiyori that his assist to Isagi was sick, asking him if something happened. Hiyori then responds saying kinda, and that he's finally bought into the Blue Lock mentality. He then adds on, going over his goal to produce the world's strongest striker, and that he wants to play football with players who can understand his passes. Ever since he got this mentality, he'll discard any player who's too stupid to understand his passes. Yukimiya comments that just now he sounded just like Hitoshi Sai. Isagi agrees with Yuki, saying that under that cool persona of his, Hiyori is an ultra sadist. Raichi tells Hiyori that he's going to be playing as a playmaker now, assuming that Hiyori's dead as a striker. Hiyori then says whatever to it all, and that at least he's not getting roasted over social media like Isagi. As Isagi's confused about what Hiyori's talking about, Hiyori shows them all some of the comments from their match against the Ubers, with one of them saying, Isagi Yoichi is the future of Bastard Munich. Bastard's best future front line is Isagi Yoichi and Michael Kaiser, 2 top tandem. Even though they're still immature and constantly fighting and getting in each other's way, if those two manage to understand and sync up with each other, they can potentially become the most lethal striker duo in the world. Isagi's enraged by this, saying absolutely no way. Raichi laughs, saying that the fans got a point, being that they're so buddy-buddy with each other. Isagi tells Raichi to shut up, saying that there's no way in hell that's happening, saying he'd rather die than team up with Kaiser. Hiyori tells Isagi not to be like that, as Kaisagi is the trendiest Blue Lock topic right now, with them being the best couple in the Neo Egos League. So I think it's safe to assume that the Blue Lock fans in the manga and the Blue Lock fans IRL have the same mentality between those two, or at least the odd ones. But anyways, as Isagi tells Hiyori to shut up, Yuki and Raichi tease him more about it, questioning if it's one of those things where he pretends he hates it, but is secretly into it. We then see Corona say see ya to everyone, as he says that he's gonna do some individual training. Raichi says that he's got a point, being that he still needs to level up and move up in the rankings. Hiyori agrees, saying his auction value isn't at a level where he can just kick back and relax, and that if they don't finish in the top 23, then all of their hard work would have been for nothing. As Hiyori says bye to Isagi, Isagi understands, being that every one of them has their own goals and objectives. During this, we see Igaguri walk up to Isagi, asking if he's got a sec. As Isagi is open to this idea, he says what's up to Igaguri. Igaguri says that he hasn't played in any matches yet, and that his value is still 0, asking Isagi what does he need to do to survive. Igaguri adds on, saying that if he can't play in the next game, then he's finished, and even though he's trying his best, he can't catch up to the rest of them. He knows that he has to force himself into the lineup, but everyone keeps getting bigger and bigger offers, asking if he has any advice for him, saying he's begging him that he needs some advice from the great Isagi Yoichi. As Isagi tries to think, he's extremely blunt, saying he has nothing. As Igaguri is freaking out at him, asking him if that's the best response he's got, as he aggressively shakes Isagi, telling him to think, Isagi then asks Igaguri his reason to play football again. Igaguri says to get out of taking over his family's temple. But compared to Isagi and the others' goal to become the best player in the world, his reason is inferior, thinking maybe he needs to change his target to becoming the world's best player. Isagi asks him, isn't his reason enough? Isagi adds on, saying that him and everyone else, and even most people in the world, can only focus and pursue achievable, realistic short-term goals, telling Igaguri that he can't compare his goals with other people's, and that pursuing your own goal to the fullest is the foundation of their ego, an ego that is unique to only you. Not wanting to take over his family's temple is one heck of an ego he has, as Isagi tells him not to lose hold of it. Igaguri says that he kinda knows what he has to do now. Isagi's confused, being that he didn't even give him suggestions about training and things of that nature, but Igaguri says that he's good, and that he'll focus on what type of training works for him, thanking Isagi in the end. Igaguri then keeps it real with Isagi, saying that when they met before the survival game of tag, he never thought that he'd become a player who's worth 100 million, admitting to Isagi that he's freaking amazing, and that he knows cause they were both at the bottom as Mr. 300th and Mr. 299th. He hates to admit it, but he says that Isagi is on the path to becoming the best player in the world, asking him for old time's sakes if he wants some of his Takuan. But Isagi says no thanks unless he wants to trade it for his Nato, with Igaguri saying that he'll pass. We then cut to the Blue Lock Man system field of Germany Stratum as we see Kaiser training as he shoots the ball, making it in. We see Kaiser sweating hard and panting and everything, as he says that he came to the Neo Egoist League to surpass Noel Noah. Bastard's first team is a squad designed to maximize Noah's strengths, with Noah crowned as the world's strongest forward, and that the chances of him stealing his spot as Bastard's ace striker was 100% impossible. Which is kind of crazy for Kaiser to be admitting that, being that he's a character who's known for making the impossible possible. But continuing on, saying that's why he wanted to use the league to secure a bigger offer from another club and force his way out of Bastard Munich. He achieved step 1 of his plan in becoming the best player in the world by attaining an offer from Laral, the strongest club in Blue Lock. But he says that there's no way in hell he can go home after losing to Isagi, as he angrily shoots the ball into the net. Ness is watching Kaiser from the hallway as he says that he knows Kaiser can do it, saying ever since that day, ever since that moment, as he wallowed in the same familiar sense of despair, he showed up and taught him there's no such thing as impossible, as we get a panel of Kaiser with longer hair without it dyed and no tattoo next to Ness, who's on the floor, ending off the chapter. Now this chapter was pretty calm other than all that dialogue between everyone. Seeing Igaguri ask Isagi for advice was pretty wholesome, being that most characters like Rin and Baro would have just told him to quit the sport then and there. But seeing Isagi giving his speech and all, acting like he's freaking Noel Noah or like Sukuna or something, was nice, being we haven't really seen a proper interaction between them since like the first or second selection, I'm quite sure. I'm also quite intrigued to see what Igaguri took from this, as well as the steps he's going to take in order to survive in the NEL from now on. But what has me more hyped over anything in this chapter is obviously Kaiser and Ness's backstory. Not only do we finally get to see the reason why this man Ness glazes Kaiser so much, but also how Kaiser became the insane player that he is today and the king of Bastard Munich. Or the prince, being that technically Noel Noah's the king of Bastard Munich, I guess. I'm definitely going to be pushing that agenda of this backstory heavy starting next week. But other than that, that's all I've got for you guys today. So if you guys did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below what are your thoughts about this chapter and what other things Blue Lock do you guys want to see me talk about next on the channel. And without further ado, I hope you guys do have a great day and see ya.